What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Game Freak. Today I am going to compare 10 games, their arcade version and the console version of these games. Now, keep in mind, this is only 10 games, so there might be some games that you are thinking of that aren't on this list currently, but I am planning on doing some more videos like this because, I don't know, I thought it would be fun. So, just keep that in mind. These 10 games are the first ones that I thought of that popped up. There are some really popular ones that are not on here yet. It will be in another video, so stay tuned for more videos like this. Also, keep this in mind. My arcade versions are going to be coming from the Freecade, which is powered by my Evercade, but I also have a game stick connected to it, so I can play pretty much anything from any console. But we're focusing on arcade games, so I'm going to be using that. And for my console, I know it looks like an arcade because it is an arcade. I'm going to use my 8-bit arcade, but that is powered by my NES clone called the Classic N. And I have a couple multi-cart Nintendo carts that one has like 630 games on it. The other one has like 832 games on it. So I have every Nintendo game. I'm going by this. These are Nintendo ports is what I'm doing today. So, future videos, I'll do some Sega ports and stuff like that. So do keep that in mind. I'm going to have a side by side of the games kind of going, I guess, in rest mode, just playing. And I will let you know which one I personally think is better. So let's jump into this right now. Okay, here we go. And as you can see, I have both screens going and kind of feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch right now, except not people. Got some games going instead. So let's go into it right now. Let me hit play here. First game is Arch Rivals. Now, this is a basketball game, but it's not like most basketball games. It's 2-on-2 and kind of like NBA Jam in a way, but this was before NBA Jam, I believe. I'm almost positive it was before NBA Jam. But the cool thing about this game is, you could punch your opponent to steal the ball and everything. It was a fun game, but it was a quarter muncher because you had to insert more quarters all the time. Every time you went to a new quarter in basketball, period. I'm sorry. But really cool Nintendo port. I did enjoy it. I remember renting it all the time when it was ported, and I was pretty excited about it. It didn't play the same, but it was still fun. It wasn't bad, but I would definitely give the edge to the arcade version of this game. Next, we have Russian Attack. I loved this game on the Nintendo, but I loved it even more at the arcades. And at the arcades, it was known as Green Beret. I forget the whole story behind the reason why they changed the name to Russian Attack on the NES, but I know it had something to do with Russia. I know that. I remember reading about it, but it was a cool port. But again, this is another one of those games that I just have to give the edge to the arcade version. I mean, it's just a badass game. Next, this is a tough one. And this is Life Force or Salamander. That's the Japanese version, but the game is the exact same. It plays the same. Man, this game is still in my top 10 favorite flying shooters of all time. Absolutely love this game. The arcade version, like hands down, easily looks better. And I was super excited when this was ported over to the Nintendo. Played the hell out of it. And it looks pretty good on the Nintendo. In fact, the soundtrack is still, I think, one of the best soundtracks on any NES game. Really cool. But man, this is just a tough one, man. Which one is better? Um, when it comes to Life Force, I think the only reason I am going to give the edge to the Nintendo port is because you can use that famous Konami code, the up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start to get them 30 guys. Life Force is a tough game, man. So, them 30 guys, it definitely comes in handy. Especially if you have two players, you do that and you hit select and then start, and then both of you have 30 guys. Definitely awesome game, man. So yeah, I give the edge to the Nintendo port. Next, you can see is Rampage. This arcade game is just sweet as all hell. Me and my buddies used to go and play this constantly. I was super excited when this was ported to the NES. Unfortunately, the NES version, you can't be the Wolfman, and Wolfman was a awesome character. You can only use him at the arcades. But yeah, so I would definitely have to give the arcade version the upper hand on that. Next, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Valiant effort when it was ported over to the NES. Not a bad version of it. Had a lot of fun playing that game, but man, it's hard to beat the arcade version of this game simply because you could have three of your friends with you and you could just beat the shit out of Shredder's army. I mean, so definitely the upper hand goes to the arcade version. Next, we have Alien Syndrome. Now, I was never a real big fan of this game originally at the arcades, but over the years, this has really grown on me. And I didn't play the NES version of this game until recently, actually. Probably within the last year or two, after I got that multi-cart with all these games on it. I was like, holy crap, man, I didn't even realize that they had a Nintendo version of this game. And I was kind of disappointed with it. It just wasn't the same. So this is another one where I would definitely give the edge to the arcade version. Not a big fan of the NES version. Next, we have Akari Warriors. Now, I know a lot of people love this game, including myself. I spent so much money at the arcades playing this game with one of my friends, and it was at like a local 7-Eleven, and we'd go down there, get Slurpees, and just sit there and put so many quarters into that machine playing this. Now, I do want to say this. I like the Nintendo port, but the controls kind of suck. And I gotta be honest, even on my freecade, using a arcade stick kind of sucks because if you remember at the arcades, it had that like twisty top on the arcade stick, so you could move your guy like in different directions, shoot in different directions. So it is kind of a pain in the ass to even play on the freecade. So this is a tough one. I mean, if I had that top to play it correctly, like you could back in the day, then I would definitely say the arcade version. But really, both of these kind of play terrible on my freecade and the NES version. So this one's kind of a tie for me, man. It's unfortunate. Next, we have a game that just isn't talked about enough, and it's Bucky O'Hare. Now, the arcade version of this game and the Nintendo version of this game, they are two completely different games. If you've never played Bucky O'Hare, you are missing out. Maybe you just never heard of it. But this game is absolutely awesome. It's fun on the arcade too. And obviously you can see from a little bit of the picture, the arcade version looks like superior, like better graphic wise. But the Nintendo version, I think, is actually the better game. The Nintendo version is absolutely awesome. So if you've never played the NES version of Bucky O'Hare, you're missing out, man. Really cool game. Um, I definitely give the NES port uh, the advantage on that one. Bucky O'Hare is just a really cool game. Next, as you can see, we have Gauntlet, and this is one of my favorite arcade games of all time. This is another one of those games where you could have three of your friends with you and just slaughter enemies, and it was so much fun. Unfortunately, the NES port I feel was butchered, and it gives that game title no justice whatsoever. So this is an easy one for me. Gauntlet arcade version all the way. The NES version just isn't that good. And then finally we have Bionic Commando. Now when it comes to Bionic Commando, little secret about this, I did not even realize that there was an arcade version of this game until I purchased my Evercade EXP, and that's the first time I ever played the arcade version of this game. And I was highly disappointed because the NES version is an amazing game. An absolutely amazing game. This is another game, kind of like Bucky O'Hare, where the NES version is just pretty much a completely different game. And it is far superior, which is crazy, to the arcade version. So the NES port definitely gets the thumbs up on this one over the arcade version. There are the first 10 games that I decided to compare the arcade version to the console ports, specifically the Nintendo console ports. So let me know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree with my opinions on these. I mean, everyone has their own opinion. So, and I also want to point out, the more I think about it, I think that there was a console version of Rampage where you could be the wolf, but I'm not real positive. I'm thinking it was like maybe the Sega Genesis, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could be totally mistaken. I'm not real sure. Let me know in the comment section on that. I just know that when the NES port came out, the only other place that you could actually be the wolf was going to the arcades and playing. So again, yeah, just let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out this channel a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. And if you are a content creator, don't forget to type in the word content in the comment section. We have something on this channel that I like to call the Game Freak Army, and if you type in the word content and any of my subscribers see it, they will go to your channel and they will subscribe to you, because that's what we do here, man. We're here to help each other out, help each other's channel grow. It ain't a competition or anything like that. It's all about just having fun, trying to be successful on YouTube, and bullshitting about video games. So feel free to type in that word content. And once again, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video. And until the next one, game on, everybody.